日本時間5月14日、米国時間5月13日、ロサンゼルス、ドジャースは本拠地でサンフランシスコ、ジャイアンツと対戦し、大谷翔平が投手専念で先発登板、チームを4連敗から救う圧巻の投球を披露した。打者としては休養となった大谷だったが、マウンドでは別次元だった。初回、西1、3塁のピンチで 100.6 マイルの剛速球を計測すると、最後は鋭いスイーパーで空振り三振。以降もジャイアンツ打線を完全に封じ込み、7回4安打無失点、8奪三振の快投を見せた。さらに3回にはサンティアゴ・エスピナルが今季第1号を放ち、直後にはムーキー・ベッツも続けて一発。打線はようやく大谷援護に成功し、ドジャースは 4-0 で快勝した。試合後、ベッツは翔平がマウンドにいるときは必ず流れを変えてくれるとコメント。大谷本人も今日は投球だけに集中できたと静かに振り返った。デーブ・ロバーツ監督は肉体的にも精神的にもリセットが必要だったと説明し、相手ベンチからも称賛の声が上がった。この勝利で大谷は防御率 0.82 となり、ついに MLB 全体トップへ浮上。間全体、大谷翔平が再びリーグを震わせ始めている。この後、ムーキー、ベッツ、大谷翔平、そして両監督の試合後インタビューも詳しくお届けする。ぜひ最後までご覧いただきたい。
Mookie, to get the offense going tonight, you and Santiago Espinal went back-to-back home runs off of Robbie Ray. When you saw Santiago's at-bat, it basically was essentially the same pitch that you saw. Was it something you saw in his at-bat, or was it something you were looking for to get that home run swing?
No. I'm just looking to get hits to try and help the boys. I mean, we've been going through it. I know I can help, and fortunately I did.
Yeah, of course we knew you were going to be a spark once you came off the IL. But what does that swing tell you as to where their swing is at just right now and how you're feeling at the plate?
I think we're close. I mean, this is only the third game, so I got to give myself 4 or 5 games to kind of try and get into some type of rhythm, and so it at least means we're heading in the right direction.
For the offense as a whole today, not only did we see the power, but we saw you guys just building innings. Is this where you guys are trying to get back to right now as a group?
Yeah, I mean, we still didn't score very many runs, but we manufactured a couple of homers and built a couple of innings and score a couple of runs. So we're trying. We're doing our best to make it work, and eventually we'll break through.
You guys, of course, had the support. Shohei Ohtani, 7 shutout innings. What were you seeing from him, and what was it like just playing behind him today?
I mean, he was throwing everything for strikes. I mean, not walking guy. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's Shohei. There's not many words you can really say about him. He's the best.
Yeah, it's been a tough few days for the team. Did it feel like this was a must-win for the group, or did it just feel like you all came together with a different effort for this one?
I don't know if it felt like a must-win, but it felt like we must get something going. We must show ourselves, at least give ourselves a little light. Fortunately, Shohei shut them down on the other side and gave us a little time to build something.
You guys sure did. Congratulations on this win today, Mookie.
Thank you.
Mookie Betts says, I don't know about a must-win. Jerry would probably disagree with that. Certainly a must-win in your mind. But
I think he took a shot at me right there. He took a shot.
Mookie Betts said it was 3rd game back for him. He said maybe 4 or 5 before he truly feels like he's in a rhythm. But he looked really good tonight. Not only had that home run, which was a no-doubter, had another line out. Looked like he was swinging the bat well.
I love the way he's really swinging the bat. It really showed signs last night, his very first night. The biggest thing is, what does he look like in the batter's box? Does he look hitterish? Does he look that he's on time? Boy, was he on time on this pitch. They wanted that fastball outer third. It leaks back middle, and Mookie Betts is all over it. Squares it up, drives it, creates backspin. One more look at it, foot down, fire those hands. Great job, Mookie Betts. And not only that, he's moving great side to side.
Yeah.
On the defensive end, he made a great play in the first inning. Challenging play. Outstanding range as well. So great to have Mookie Betts back.
100%. I mean, that swing right there was so good. Great rhythm, great timing. Everything you need to do when you're hitting, he did it there. Pitcher made a mistake, was trying to go away, leaked middle in. He was ready for it. Great swing. Swing is in a really good spot.
Dodgers 4-0 winners over the San Francisco Giants. Let's head back inside because the big show, Shohei Ohtani, is speaking with the media.
Shohei, first just 7 shutout innings tonight. You were efficient. How did you find navigating just through their lineup?
7回効率よく無失点で、打順に対してどういう戦略を
まずは自分の やるべきことの方を重視しながら、あとは打線の相手の反応を見ながら、ウィルと話して、コーチと話して組み立てていきました。
Yeah, I just did what I know I had to do today, and also just like collaborating with the pitching coach and Will Smith, just reading and reacting with the hitter's swings.
You had your full pitch mix going, but it did seem like you kind of went to the sweeper a little bit more than usual. Is that something that was feel today, or was that part of game plan and how you were reacting to their hitters?
今日はスイーパーが多かったんですけども、何か打者の反応を見てのことですか？
そうですね。張られてる、セットされてる場面でも投げるべき時は投げますし、単純にそのボールのキレがいいか悪いかっていうところもあると思うので、その点では悪くはなかったかなと思います。
The sweeper felt pretty good. Even if the hitter is sitting on it, it's not necessarily something that I don't throw. But overall, just the quality of it was pretty good.
You're 7 starts in and you have an ERA under 1. In what ways do you feel like you're a better pitcher now than you were in other parts of your career?
7登板で防御率1以下で、過去に比べて、ピッチングのどういうところがいいんですかと。
投げ心地は今のところいいとは思いますし、今日のランナーたまった場面の最後のフライもそうですけど、抜けるかどうかで、そこは数字はちょっと大きく変わってくるので、あまりまだそこを気にする段階ではないのかなとは思っています。
The feeling's pretty good. I feel really good with my pitches. But today, the deep fly ball to end the last out of the 7th inning, that could have really swayed the my ERA. So I think there's some luck involved as well.
You sense a little bit of fatigue from you, especially offensively. How do you feel like you've adjusted to the first full season of two-way in 2 years?
今二刀流の本格的な二刀流の1年目、その監督もいろいろ配慮しながらやってるんですけども、どう感じてますか？
今のところ怪我なくはもちろん来てるのはいいことですし、オフェンスの、側で、そこまでチームの助けに今のところなっている場面は少ないので、そこがしっかりと自分の形に、納得できる形に戻ってくれば、よりチームへの貢献ができるんじゃないかなと思っています。
Yeah, first and foremost, the fact that I'm not injured, that's a good thing. I do want to contribute more offensively. I haven't done so this year, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Were you okay? Were you okay with the decision?
Shohei Ohtani's night, 7 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts. You see the 105 pitches. Adrian, it was just another masterpiece, really, from Ohtani in this game.
It really was. And, I really love the fact that he got to 105 pitches. I'm a big believer in starters going over 100 pitches and seeing 105, 7 full innings there. Just the way he threw the ball today, he threw it so convincing. He would attack the hitters. Got the 8 strikeouts. It was just really, really fun to watch.
It's amazing. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, tremendous athlete, and he does show a little bit of his personality as a hitter, but I really like to see him as a pitcher because he really lets that personality shine, especially in big moments in the ball game. You see him go out there competing. Let's say he'll strike out to end the inning. You see him scream, yell, how excited he is. But I love the fact that he loves that he's in complete control. He understands if I make my pitches, hits my spots, I'm going to put up a lot of zeros. Just love the fact that he is right now, no disrespect to Paul Skeens, who's an absolute monster. He had a monster game last time in Pittsburgh. No disrespect to any other pitcher out there. But right now, this kid, the big show on the mound, is the best pitcher on the planet.
I 100% agree. Shohei's been throwing the ball great. 7 starts now, ERA at .82. Everything he's been doing has been incredible, and I love to see it. And then I love to hear the interview where he's like, I got to contribute more offensively because, his mind is on both sides of the ball, so he knows he's throwing the ball great. His mind's on contributing offensively, but on the mound, he's just been lights out all season long.
He certainly has been, and lowers that ERA to 0.82. It's truly incredible what he's done. He's allowed only 4 earned runs all season long, and he's done it over, 43 innings here in 2026. Dodgers 4-0 shutout winners over the San Francisco Giants. Let's head back upstairs, check in one final time with Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser.
Well, that was a lot more like it. Dodgers get a 4-0 win tonight to end the 4-game losing streak. Let's start with Shohei Ohtani. 7 scoreless innings. He was awesome.
Yeah, he really has. And he's shown in his 2 outings against the Giants that the sweeper is a really good pitch. But then he leaned on the fastball also. Didn't need the curveball much, didn't need the split much. But those 2 pitches were really an amazing outing.
Spark from the offense tonight. Back-to-back home runs from Santiago Espinal and Mookie Betts.
Yeah, if this pitching staff pitches up to their capabilities and the way the bullpen threw today and the way Ohtani threw today, 4 can be a magic number. But I know our offense is not going to be satisfied with just 4 runs.
Yeah, Dodgers won't be satisfied with just 1 win in this series. They'll go for the split tomorrow with Emmett Sheehan taking the ball.
It was a team win. Obviously, it started with Shohei on the mound and 7 innings and throwing a shutout. Got a little help with that double play at the end of his outing. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was really good tonight. And offensively, I just thought that situationally, we just had a lot of good intent, good at-bats, and certainly to have a couple homers tonight from Espinal and Mookie was helpful.
With Shohei Ohtani, obviously he's been excellent as of late, but what really stood out to you in just this outing today and how he was the stopper, and really set the tone for the team?
I think just he was attacking with the fastball. I thought the fastball was really good, had a lot of life. There were a lot of 99s in there and just dominating the hitters. I thought Arise took some really good at-bats against him. But outside of that, I thought he was pretty dominant tonight.
Is there in your mind a longer leash for him as a starting pitcher when he's not in the lineup? Like, for example, like letting him go out for that 7th inning?
Yeah, I think so. Where he was at, if he was hitting, I would have probably pulled the plug right there. But because he wasn't, knowing he had some extra rest going into this one, he'll probably get some extra rest going to the next one. So it just kind of part of the math, yeah.
You see this season transpire, have you seen Shohei kind of really commit to becoming the best one?
You see it. We've all seen that transformation, and he wants to be the best pitcher in baseball. And, right now he's doing it. And so you can tell he's hyper-focused on, the preparation part of it. And then obviously the days that he starts the execution.
Obviously last year he looked very good and, just kind of incremental return. But are you seeing anything different outside of just this being like the fresh beginning of the season?
I would say the only thing I see is he's not in build-up mode. I think that he has confidence in all of his pitches, and he feels that, he can get hitters out in different ways, where I think last year he was still trying to get his footing on getting back to pitching on some type of routine schedule. And then you have to layer in on, what you have that day to get a hitter out. And I think now he's got confidence in his fastball, his command, the sweeper, the curveball, and he hasn't really used his split. Tonight he didn't use it a whole lot. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Dave, now that there's a track record of Shohei dominating like this when he's on the lineup, does it make that decision harder to put him back in the lineup?
No, it's always good to have him in the lineup, but I think that, we're doing it for the right reasons. So that's what, regardless of the result, I think we feel good about it. Because we're doing it, for him to give him the best chance to be the best player he can be. But yeah, it doesn't feel good not writing him in the lineup tomorrow. But that's just the way it is, and we've wrapped our heads around that and feel fine about it.
He said he wants to spend more kind of just dialing in what he felt at the plate yesterday. Like, how do you balance that? How do you try to keep that spark kind of going, especially if it's just one game you're kind of basing it on?
Well, I think that, tomorrow to not have to prepare to play a game, to take 5 at-bats, he can kind of use tomorrow to, stroll in a little bit later, make sure his body feels good, and then work through some things mechanically to build on, what he found yesterday. So I think that that's helpful. And then, our hope is that, come Friday, then he'll be recovered, and then he'll kind of be able to kind of build off that mechanical part that he found out.
Do you ever think about just the type of pressure that Shohei is under to maintain both at such a high level? Because it seems like anytime one of them falls off a little bit, there are like all these questions about like whether or not he should give up the two-way.
I know it's interesting because last year there was a lot of conversations that he shouldn't pitch, and just be a hitter, and so now it's kind of flipped on its head. So I think that I can't imagine what goes through his mind, but I do feel clarity on how we're managing him, and there's no one way to go about it. You're just kind of trying to be fluid and react and respond to how he's feeling. But yeah, I mean, it seems like whether he's on the mound, you expect a no-hitter, and then when he's hitting, you expect 2 homers, and so that's kind of his lot in life. It's what he kind of he did to deserve that.
How happy were you when you see Espinal and then Mookie hit a home run?
I was happy. I was happy. I was happy for Espinal. He's been such a great teammate, and so for him to have a moment to get us the lead was big. And then just Mookie, wasn't going to play, but, wanted to play for the team and knew we needed him against Ray tonight. And so for him to deliver was great. So I felt good about it.
What have you seen from Mookie's at bats? Because we didn't really know what we get with that.
I think the at-bats have been good. I think that the quality has been good. Even that last at-bat, he lines out to Adames, and so he's seen it well. You don't know what to expect because he had 2 rehab assignments or 2 rehab games. And then, but again, just getting him back in there, it just makes the lineup, look a lot better.
Is just a misread on the outs. We didn't, with the innings over with, so he goes back out there. At that point, we're trying to come back, and there's no sense on dwelling on it. We visited his coaches on it, but at some point have a discussion to make sure that's the actual fact. But we all know Willie. He's always good. Catch. He's always intense. He's always going to play with high energy. He's always going to play aggressive. So I don't know if any of that played into it, but obviously a misread there. And the other thing is the ball hangs up and gets caught. Your fantasy scenario is that ball gets down, and we're in a really good position to strike in a game that up until that point seemed pretty lopsided. But whatever the mistake was there, we'll clear it up. I think on the whole, though, I think the base running thing is something we addressed at spring training. We really put a huge emphasis on it. I thought we came out of there, improved. It was an area we wanted to improve on from last year, but just the whole body of work. I mean, that's one isolated play in an intense game is something we need to get better at and get back to San Francisco. I'll be standing there with a fungo, and whoever wants to get better at it can.
Tony, was that are you saying it was a misread on the ball itself? Or
No, on the outs.
So he just didn't know how to
Well, I didn't ask him, so I don't want to put words into his mouth. And, my first instinct is my honest answer I gave you is, like I said, he's always full of energy. He's always aggressive. He's always intense and trying to win. You saw it on the balls where he elevated and made a, Michael Jordan-esque catch on one and almost did on the other. So might have been just trying to get a good jump on the thing, but probably the thing that makes most sense without me asking him is maybe he thought there was 2 outs there. But again, I don't know. And I would, again, the game's over with. We lost the game. We didn't lose it because of one play. My only comment I made to the coaching staff back there is if we look at the whole body of work, it's an area we really worked hard on in spring training to improve upon. And the bottom line is the metrics back it up, and some of the plays we've looked at on video, we just need to get better at it. So that's something that we need to take charge on.
今回も最後までご視聴いただき本当にありがとうございました。動画の内容を楽しんでいただけたでしょうか。もしよろしければチャンネル登録と高評価をお願いいたします。皆さんの応援が今後の動画制作の大きな励みになります。それではまた次回の動画でお会いしましょう。